This week on Shots from the Hip, a Shotgun Sports Network production, we're talking basketball history. We're talking contemporary hockey. We're talking World Baseball Classic. We're talking CFL. We're talking movies. We might do a lot more here on Shots from the Hip.
Welcome to Shots from the Hip podcast. Brought to you by Royal Retros on the Shotgun Sports Network. Here are your hosts, Jason Bizik and Oz Davis.
Wow, what an open. Hey, hipsters watching on the Shotgun Sports Network YouTube channel or listening on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post any new videos. Welcome to episode 8. We have no NFL to talk about. We have no Olympics to talk about. We got a lot of other stuff, though. What do you think?
There's going to be a lot of NFL stuff. I mean, not
a
a lot.
lot of NFL stuff.
There will be some. Come on.
Oh, you don't want to talk. You don't want to talk about the combine, do you?
You were. I mean, in our production meeting, hey, we were talking about this.
It's hard not to talk about NFL, right?
You know what else? It's hard not to talk about that opening theme song. Because every time you talk about it, it's like I was just thinking today. It's like, I record this show pretty early in the morning, local time.
Yeah.
And I have this cup of coffee. I don't even need coffee. I just need that. Wow, 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 wow. Oh. That bass will wake you right up. That should be my alarm tone. Because, man, that's just like, but damn, that's like, taking an IV of espresso. Never mind drinking the stuff. It's just like straight to the bloodstream. But in any case, we're going to have some NFL stuff.
Yeah. All right. First, let's touch briefly, and then I'll do very briefly because I know you're not hugely into NHL yet, but you got to touch. I have to touch briefly on it because the NHL trade deadline is on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So that means this week, typically a little crazy with trades happening as teams position themselves for the playoffs. So far, nothing gone down, really. The Oilers made a trade today for a defenseman from Chicago. He's apparently pretty good, although I don't really know. Connor Murphy. So now the Oilers have 3 players named Connor in their lineup. Connor Murphy is supposedly very good, I've been told. They have traded defenseman, or Chicago has traded defenseman Connor Murphy to the Edmonton Oilers for a second-round draft pick in 2028. The Blackhawks are retaining 50% of his $4.4 million cap hit. So great deal for the Oilers.
Yeah, buying cheap on that. I like that. I figure there's also going to be a Connor to be named later. Whatever happened to player to be named later? I used to love that as a kid. I used to love that in trades.
Oh yeah, you never see that anymore. Really.
Yeah, especially baseball. Yeah. You get Barry Bonds traded for so and so and player to be named later. I love that.
I think what they maybe have replaced that with is future considerations.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
The only other really news in the NHL is Mark Stone from the Vegas Golden Knights was injured last night. I don't know if you recall us discussing how the Vegas Golden Knights around the playoff stretch time always tend to have a major injury and a player go on long-term injury so they can pick up extra players for the playoff drive. So this comes as no surprise, really. I actually have some stats here about Mark Stone. Okay. Mark Stone has never played a full season in the NHL. His last 5 seasons in the NHL. So in 2021-22, he played 37 of 82 games. 2022-23, he played 43 of 82 games. 2023-24, he played 56 of 82 games. 2024-25, he played 66 of 82 games. So he's been gradually increasing, but this season he's not even going to come close because so far he's only played 43 of 60, and now he's going to miss a few, and he won't even come anywhere close to 56 or 66, I'm assuming. So I don't know if he's just injury prone or if he's made out of a wet paper bag, or guy's always injured though. Well, I love him, but he's always injured.
Well, this is one of these, are the sports seasons too long, right? I mean, players are bigger, players are faster, and you have to play 3 times a week. The truth is, I say this a lot because people complain about the NBA lately where player takes a DNP, right? Because it's one of these situations where the team is taking they're playing its 3rd game in 4 nights. Maybe they're away, maybe they're not at home. And, so a LeBron James or whoever will take a game off, People complain about this, but look, think about your
maintenance days, they like to call them, right?
DNPs, I just think of it as, time management.
Yeah.
Time management.
Load management,
Yeah, because it's a business, So in any case, the
now one thing that I heard this past week on another podcast, I believe it was for NBA players, something about if they don't play a certain number of games, they're not eligible for awards.
For most valuable player awards. Yeah.
So that's good.
The bar's a bit too high. But again, I thought basketball was supposed to be a team game. What's the emphasis on individual players? Okay, right. There's an argument to be made. If you don't play more than 65 games, you shouldn't be the MVP. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But who cares? Actually, the thing is, the problem is in the NBA, this stuff plays into contract incentives. Right? So in other words, you can make more money or you can ask for more money on your next free agent deal if you have stuff like NBA All-Star Team or All-NBA Team. All-NBA Team counts in negotiations. Championship rings, of course, because we live in ring culture. But stuff like MVP, Defensive All-Star Team, stuff like all defense, stuff like this. Right? This counts in negotiations, which, hey, that's something the players' union worked out. So on that level, it's important. But Jesus, what? You're not going to pay Nikola Jokic because he didn't get the MVP 3 years in a row or whatever? Come on. Nikola Jokic would rather take the nights off. He doesn't need another MVP. He doesn't.
This is true.
SGA, he doesn't need another MVP. SGA wants to win the gold for Canada in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
That's his goal. He would take that. He would take another podium finish, I think, with Team Canada than an MVP.
Yeah,
I think so.
Now speaking of playing for Canada, I believe you wanted to chat about some World Baseball
Classic. Oh my God, World Baseball Classic. The greatest sports event that Americans don't know about. I would also suspect Canadians, but okay, essentially, the World Baseball Classic is a competition. It began in, I believe, 2009, maybe a bit earlier than that, but I believe the first one was 2009. It's along the lines of a World Cup, your Rugby World Cup, your Cricket World Cup, your Football World Cup, whatever.
Your hockey World Cup.
Yeah, Hockey World Cup, right? Hoops World Cup. So World Baseball Classic has 20 teams arranged into 4 groups. I'll call this up in a second. One of the things to remember about World Baseball is it's really in that area of cricket and rugby. It's getting to the point where, there's a few dozen countries that play this game. But the truth is that there are certain nations that are, to coin a phrase, leagues above most other countries, right? The thing is, for example, and I'm going to call up this table in just a minute here.
Now
Um,
I know nothing about this World Baseball Classic, but
okay.
if I had to make a guess, I would say Dominican Republic and Japan, very good teams.
Japan has been particularly dominant. I'm going to talk about the. I'll give you the brief. I'll give you the brief history in just a moment. Um, okay, so the thing is, there's 20 teams this year. Okay,
Mhm.
the bar for qualifying for next season, next World Baseball Classic in 3 years, is pretty low. Okay, to get into the World Cup in soccer is crazy. I mean, you got to jump through hoops. You're playing qualifiers for 3 years before the Soccer World Cup. Okay, it's stringent. Why? Because everybody plays. Okay? Baseball, we have 20 teams in this World Baseball Classic. 19 of them were there last year. Why? All you have to do is finish fourth in your group of 5 to qualify for the next World Baseball Classic. That's all you have to do. So the only new team this year, the only non-returning team this year is Brazil.
Oh,
And they've actually played in one of these before. They played in like 2015 or 16, something like that. They played in one of these before. The only team that's out from last time is China. Now, we're going to come back to China in just a second. Let me share screen. Let me share screen with you because, yeah, China is key for another reason. Here's a chart provided by Major League Baseball. This is from MLB.com, the official website of the league. So it's a bit MLB centric. All right, but here are your 5 groups. And on the right side here in the purple is the number of major league players that they have. All right. So, of course, United States, 28. The full roster is major league player. Okay. You also have Dominican Republic, 28. And oddly enough, you have Venezuela with 27.
oh yeah.
So I was crawling through the roster forever because I cannot find a listing of rosters. I can find lots of
Oh,
listings of rosters, but I cannot find a listing of rosters with current team. Right. So I was trawling through these names. I was, Googling every one of these players, and I just gave up after a while. I suspect one of these guys is retired from professional baseball. There are a few retired players in this tournament. So maybe that's it. But, you can also check out Israel,
wow.
24 major leaguers, because, of course, the rules for citizenship in Israel are very loose. Are you Jewish? Hey, you can be a citizen. So basically, this is every Jewish player in Major League Baseball, with a few exceptions, plus a few other guys, probably playing minor league ball or playing somewhere else in the world. Now, you notice one of the interesting things is every year they have one of the pools is always in Asia, right? Typically, the home games, the first round games, are always in
Oh, I
Asia.
see. Yeah.
Right. Now, typically, this is Japan. One year it was Korea. But as you can see, you can check out the teams here. Now, look, you've got Japan, Korea, who are real powers in this thing. Australia, who are just awesome at any sport they play. So it's not, I believe that the last time baseball was in the Olympics, that Australia took the silver that year. And this isn't even, they've been playing this game for maybe 50 years on any serious level. And they're already quite good at it. You have Taiwan, and you have everybody's favorite, Czechia.
With
Czechia.
0 MLB players.
0 major league players. Now, I actually have a profile on this. They actually have one guy who technically is in the major leagues, but right now he's a free agent. He's a 252 hitter lifetime, and he's played about 85 games with the Orioles over 3 seasons.
Oh,
Right. So minor leaguer. They also have, it's funny because the two best players on Czechia are both catchers. Right? So, okay, yeah, so here it is. All right. So, pretty much, I mean, one of the best prospects in the entire tournament, to be honest, is this guy. I should learn how to say this name because he'll probably be playing Major League one day. Matos Bubanik or Bubanik. He plays for UNC Wilmington. So this dude is about 19 years old. And he's playing in this tournament for Czechia. Right? So he's the rare prospect who's actually going to play out his college career. Very few players in the major leagues have any sort of college degree at all, because in baseball you don't have to. They have okay. Their other top name player, we talked a few weeks ago about Bull Durham. Okay, well here's your real life Bull Durham, Martin Cervenka, who spent more than 10 years in the minor leagues in America. I guess now he plays in the semi-pro Czech league, as well as having a regular job, I guess. So I don't know what they're going to do about this. There is a DH in this tournament, so I suspect that Cervenka will probably be a DH. I don't know. Maybe they'll put him at first base, something like that. Oh yes, and your free agent major league player is Terran Vavra or Vavra. Again, he's a free agent. He's hit 252 in 68 major league games for Baltimore. Okay. So let's talk about some of the. I wanted to talk a little bit about the history. Now, again, I was talking about baseball, of course, internationally speaking, is dominated by a few teams. All right. This event has been played 5 times before. The 2020 event was, of course, canceled because of COVID. So it should have been 6, but it's been 5. All right. Only 6 teams have ever played in the final game. Okay. At all. Right. These teams are Japan, Dominican Republic, USA, Korea, Puerto Rico, who has been in the final match for the last 2 years. Oh, no, I can't say that. They have been in the final round 2 of the last 3. Puerto Rico, pretty amazing because they're basically the smallest team in this thing. And Cuba, who was in the finals of the original World Baseball Classic. That's it. How dominant is Japan? Japan has won the thing 3 times. The other 2 times they've come in 3rd. Right? I think it's 14 of these teams have been in all 6 World Baseball Classics, and China had been in 5 until this year. So again, dominated by a few teams. The only other first place finishers have been Dominican Republic. They've won it once, and USA, who has won it once. Last year, of course, I don't know how they're going to top the finals from last year. Last year, the whole thing culminated in Shohei Ohtani coming in for relief for Japan, striking out his teammate Mike Trout of Team USA. Yeah, this is what it came down to. That was 9th inning, final game, USA-Japan. USA were the defending champs. Now Japan is the defending champs of this thing. Some teams to watch out for. Of course, you have to watch out for Japan. Korea is always competitive as well. There's only 2 teams that advance out of each of these groups. And again, since international baseball is so stratified, you're really looking for the upset. That probably won't happen. I mean, just looking at the major league numbers, you're looking at Dominican Republic, you're looking at Venezuela. You're right to do so. Of course, Dominican Republic has something like 12% of major leaguers. I mean, just for example, Dominican Republic starts with Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero, Julio Rodriguez, and Fernando Tatis. Venezuela might be a team that breaks through. The best they've ever done is third, but they typically support quite a nice roster. In fact, this year, I noted that to talk about the Venezuela roster, really what you can talk about is who they are missing. Okay, this is a team with 27 major leaguers, mostly starters, and they're not going to play with Jose Altuve and Robert Suarez. So Venezuela is pretty freaking good this year. If you're looking for an upset, you can look at Venezuela. One of the things I really love about the World Baseball Classic is, again, take a look at these, Asian area teams, right?
Mhm.
Japan, Korea, even Australia are quality teams, but we've seen hardly any of them, right? Japan and Korea have such a situation where we don't have to go to America. Look, I don't speak English. I can make a lot of money playing in my home country where I'm a
Mhm.
superstar. I'm playing in a quality league. A lot of these guys just simply don't have the desire to play in America. And
Yeah,
why
because I
not?
was because I was gonna say they've only got 8 major league players on their team. Korea's only
Yeah,
got 7. I was gonna say,
yeah.
why
But
are
they're
none of them major
awesome.
league players?
Yeah, but they're awesome. One of the advantages that these teams, except for Czechia, that these teams have in the bracket is that these teams are in the middle of their season right now, right?
Mm,
This is Southern Hemisphere, right?
mhm.
So these guys are ready to go. This is always the disadvantage that America, Canada, to some extent Dominican Republic have had in the past, is that these guys are just warming up. This is March.
Mm.
So these guys are just warming up. They're kicking the dust off. This was one of the famous, this was one of the problems in the old days of this thing. We had Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter's been clubbing for 3 months. He's not ready to play, right? He's not in shape. This year the USA is among the favorites to take this thing. Not surprising. This year we're bringing Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber just to start. We've also got in our pitching staff, we've got both of last year's Cy Youngs, Paul Skenes and Tariq Skubal. And we also have, I'm drawing a blank. Our man from Chicago, our man from Los Angeles, Nick Kershaw. So USA has a monster team. Of course, Dominican Republic has a monster team. USA. I like Venezuela's chances. And I'm going to go ahead and make my upset pick because most of these you can just fill in the blanks. I mean, you can look at USA's group. USA has basically 2 serious teams. The Italian team is not bad. They're getting a lot of these guys whose grandma or grandpa was Italian. So they're getting a lot of third-generation Italians on Team Italy. They are often competitive, but they never break through the final 8. So I'm going to go with, of course, all the favorites. So I'll take Dominican Republic, I'll take Venezuela, Japan, Korea, I'll take USA, Mexico. And over there in Pool A, you have to like defending champ Puerto Rico. But I'm going to go with Canada. I'm going to put Canada through. Colombia always manages to put on a great team. And Cuba, of course, is another mystery, right? So many of these players are essentially blocked from playing American ball. Some of them actually do go and play in Japan or Korea, even in China. A handful of Cuban players go there, but they're effectively banned from the U.S. and Canadian ball. So most of these guys. So Cuba's a bit of a mystery. Colombia usually puts together a good team. Panama is competitive. Group A is the most competitive group. I mean, these teams are of a level. But I'm going to take Canada to go through. Unfortunately, that means they're going to draw. Guess who? The USA in that first knockout stage, because it's basically second place A versus first place B. Other way as well. Same thing with C and D. Your first seed in C will get your second seed in D, which will be these will be great second round matchups right here. And these will be played in America, so in a time zone that we can relate to in North America. But those second round games are always great if you have this sort of matchup. I mean, Japan, Dominican Republic, Japan, Venezuela, any of these are good. Korea, Venezuela, Korea, Dominican Republic, these will be great games. And with a lot of players you never heard of before. So fun stuff. I fully endorse World Baseball Classic. I don't even watch that much Major League Baseball these days, but I love the Classic. I love it.
And when does all this start?
Okay, so the first game, now the first few games, the first pool to begin play is Pool C, of course. Now they start on March 5th. So that's a Thursday. But God only knows, if you're on the West Coast of America, what time these games actually are. The rest of the games, I believe even the games that do not involve Team USA and Team Canada, will be shown on mostly Fox Sports, Fox Sports 2, these stations, as I know, in the USA. Canada, I'm not sure, but you probably get Fox in Canada, right?
Oh yeah, we get Fox.
Yeah. So that's where most of these games are going to be played. They always seem to show this competition. Fox loves this competition. As you can see, you asked me earlier off camera, but I will now put it onto the podcast. Every major league team is represented by at least 3 players. The Mets and Mariners are the big two with 17 and 16. The least is Washington, and Houston, surprisingly enough, only put on 3 players each. But again, it's just like the Olympic hockey tournament. Every top league team is represented here. And again, I really wish they would tell us. If somebody cares enough to tell me where I can find the Japanese and Korean roster, especially with their current teams, because I know a little bit about Nippon League Baseball. I mean, I know the teams at least, and I know a little bit about KBO, Korean baseball. So somebody tell me the teams of these guys. I want to know who they play for. So yeah, I recommend this highly. If you're a baseball fan, check it out. At least the knockout stages. Check that out. That should begin around the 15th, 16th. Should be the knockout round games. Start around that time. So check this out. Really, you owe it to yourself. If you love baseball, check this out. It's great. It's a fun tournament. Really,
I mean, there really isn't much else to watch at the moment besides NHL hockey.
Well, March Madness is coming up.
Some NBA, yeah.
People like that tournament. I'm not. Yeah, I see you're not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan myself. I tend to like the pro games more than anything. I tend to like international stuff more than anything. And although this isn't the most competitive world tournament in the world, it's a lot of fun. It really scratches my itch for international ball.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We have CFL news.
Oh yeah, sort of. Yeah,
kind of.
CFL debate material. Maybe this should be the debate topic.
Yeah, the CFL has released their way too early power rankings. So let's have a look here.
Okay. All right.
So, unfortunately, they list it from number 1 starting at the top. So, obviously, number 1, they've got the Riders.
Yeah, sure.
Defending champions.
In a previous life, I did a lot of writing. I would do these power rankings. You have to put the defending champion at the top, unless there are seriously extenuating circumstances. I'd put them right at the top. But I will tell you this: even before the draft, all right, I'm expecting the Riders not to be the best team in the league. They led wire to wire last year. Like I always say, the numbers balance out. Beware the team with the highest turnover differential the next season is a good one. It shows a lot of luck. A lot of things broke right for the Riders. In fact, everything pretty much broke right for the Riders this season, except for the Calgary games. They caught Calgary at the wrong time a couple of times last season, But other than that, everything went perfectly for the Riders last year. So just by regression alone, there's no way they're the number one team. But it's a power poll. They have to be number one.
Yes, I was actually surprised because I thought the power ranking would take into consideration the players they've lost and
Right.
all that, but apparently
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, legacy.
Yeah.
Until the season starts, they're number one.
Number 2, the BC Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're disregarding tradition, BC is number one.
Yeah.
Of course, they've been number one for a couple of years now, so, so that doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, really, I mean, they're stocked as always. Great things are still expected of Nathan Rourke. I worry that maybe he's athletically peaked. I really do. So this season for me is kind of a make or break for him. I mean, yes, he will always be top tier. But, he's supposed to be the second coming. This is supposed to be Doug Flutie too. This is, so.
Maybe he's just getting warmed up.
For 4 years now. I mean, come on. It's been a while. But yeah, BC's got to be your number 2.
Number 3, Montreal Alouettes.
Ooh. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like them above Hamilton at number 4 too. Thank you. Great. All right.
This could be agree?
This could be a legacy pick. Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. Our boy Davis Alexander is still undefeated in the regular season. In the regular season, he's undefeated at all levels except the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
So
this is true.
Still, 10-1 career record is not bad. He's looking a bit like Bo Levy, early in his career. Just I can imagine him running up a high winning percentage. We have the best defensive coordinator in the league, Noel Thorpe. I mean, by far, I would say he's the best defensive mind in the CFL for sure. So we still have him. But I'm paranoid. I'm always looking over my shoulder, friggin' Hamilton.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, you just touched on Bo Levi Mitchell, and Bo Levi Mitchell has a lot of weapons this year.
Well, yeah, but the thing about Hamilton is this, and you guys touched upon it in the long. Who was that? Elks Herd. Was the host of that? Yeah, there was just so many of you guys, I couldn't tell who was the host. So you guys touched upon this on the show. Hamilton had probably the biggest turnover in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, he has a lot of weapons, but it's this thing that we've seen with the Argonauts in the past. If you turn over half your roster, you may have a lot of names, but man, this is football. This is the ultimate team sport. You got to be a specialist and a team player in football. And so it's not always easy to build a super team. I mean, hell, over there in the NFL, Washington used to try this all the time. Yeah, let's just sign all the best free agents. We'll be the best. well, this isn't baseball. Right? This isn't a whole derby, right? So that's the biggest question mark in the league is Hamilton, despite Bo Levy, despite the point-a-minute offense that they had last year. They're still the biggest question mark in the league. Too much turnover. But yeah, it's fair. I mean, being a paranoid Montreal fan, I might even have Hamilton at 4. But you have to be honest and say they haven't proven anything.
Well,
with this new lot. So,
well, there's a shock at number 5.
Peg?
The Edmonton Elks.
Well, I like the Elks this year.
And number 6, the Bombers.
Yes, I do not like the Bombers this year.
I don't like the Bombers any year.
Wow. I don't like their chances.
Oh, okay.
This year. Yeah. I don't like them from a bettor's perspective. Right. But yeah, Edmonton at 5, that's a gutsy pick. But again, it's power rankings. And Edmonton is that team, and this happens a lot in football at any level. The team that goes out hot, right? The team that ends on a high. Watch for them next year. Edmonton has been this team the past few years, but they entered the new season with a new friggin' quarterback every year, right? The guy
Not
that
this
is
year.
hot at the end of the season, they switch out for some inexplicable reasons. Right, not this year. So Edmonton is going to be the team to watch, especially for the first half, 2/3 of the season. So the first 12 games, Edmonton is the team to watch. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, again, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'd put them this high on the power rankings because they finished so well last year. They finished a lot better than Hamilton. You know?
Yeah.
They closed the year a lot better than Hamilton did. They closed the year arguably better than Winnipeg did. You know, Winnipeg snuck in the playoffs, but Edmonton was good at the end of last year. And best running game in the league, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
They're showing that the running game is not defunct in the CFL, that you can attack with this thing, even with a Cody Fajardo at quarterback. You can annihilate teams with a running game still. So I like Edmonton this year. I think, yeah, they're going to make some noise. They're going to compete. They're going to make the playoffs.
Now in at 7 is Ottawa Red Blacks, which was the worst team in the league last season. So this shocks me.
Wow. No.
I don't think they made any big improvements. So I'm not.
No way. No way.
I mean, maybe new head coach Ryan Dinwiddie might make a difference.
Yeah, well, CFL-CA would like you to think so. This is the league. This is the league publicly being optimistic about a team that, at best, is a question mark.
Yeah,
seriously. I mean, to think that here is a division that often, not so much in the past 2-3 seasons, but often has a 500 team competing for the title of the division, right? Competing for the number one, and the Red Blacks are not competitive. I mean, come on now. This is ridiculous. They've not been a threat to make the playoffs. I don't want to say since Burris retired, but it certainly feels like that. You know, this team is never a threat. This team is never a threat, and they had probably the second highest turnover in this offseason. Again, Ottawa is always turning over this roster. Maybe these guys will work. You know, they lost some good players. They picked up some good players. We'll see. They have no business being number 9.
Now
it's a power rankings poll. They have no power.
They have no power.
9.
Now, as a Stampeders fan myself,
right?
I don't like to see Calgary in number 8. I feel at least a 7 or a 6.
Right. No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, I was looking, because I'm crazy, after these things came out last week, I was looking at these divisions, right? And what I'm going to pick for the playoffs, right? East, fairly easy. It's only a question of, does Toronto make it or not? Or is there a crossover? Right? That's pretty easy. You know, Ottawa's going to finish last. Montreal, Hamilton are going to be 1-2 in either order. Okay. But in the West, especially if you think Edmonton's going to make the playoffs, what's the finish? I mean, Edmonton is 3, maybe? So what does that mean? The Riders are 4? Because BC is 1. At BC is 1. Calgary lost.
According to the CFL, the Riders are 1.
Well, yeah, but nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that.
No.
BC Lions is going to be the vote pick. They're already the odds-on favorite of the sports book. They're going to be the pick, I think, by most CFL fans, most writers, whatever. I think they're going to be number 1 pick. Okay, but again, if you believe the Elks are going to make the playoffs, who's out? Do the Bombers finish in 5th? The Stamps, as far as I can see, only lost like 4 of their best players.
Only 4?
There's not much. Yeah, only 4. There's not much turnover there, and Calgary usually has a really nice draft. So, you know, they usually get these plug and play players. So is Calgary going to miss the playoffs? I mean, that West side is going to be tough to handle this year. Probably what would be the best outcome for everybody is if the Riders just go 5-13. That would make everybody happy, right? Including the people who predicted them not to make the playoffs. That would be the best. But there's going to be a surprise in the West. It's going to be a negative surprise because you really can't rule out any of these teams. You can't. I mean, what are you going to do? So there's no way the Stamps are not competitive while the Ottawa Redblacks are.
Right.
Just not. That's ridiculous. No way. You should be offended. You should take this personally. I mean,
I am.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. That's disrespect.
And then, of course, pulling up the rear, the CFLCA has the Toronto Argos. So,
okay. I believe. Sure, why not? Why not?
Why not?
After last year, after last year. I mean, you can't be too surprised. They were supposed to be. They were supposed to return to that 15-3 form, right? But Chad never got off the bench. I honestly think he may be done. He was wearing the headset. Maybe it's because he was wearing the headset so much last season. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna, try and get into the coaching ranks or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's got to be were they really willing to just throw away last season?
I don't know.
Because that's what they did. Nick wasn't up to the task. Nick Arbuckle wasn't up to the task in the end, which is pretty weird to say after he wins the World Cup, after he wins the Grey Cup for them. It's pretty weird to say that, but yeah, he was not the reason why they succeeded last year, for sure.
No.
So Argos in ninth. Well, I mean, as an Als fan, I appreciate that, but I don't know. It's got to be Ottawa, right? Ottawa's got to be last, right? I don't mean to beat up on the Red Blacks, but come on now. No, not buying it.
So you got any NBA or anything else, or shall we go into the Triple Ds?
Nah. We've taken enough time with this. The NBA is finally coming out of this tanking controversy. You know what it is? I was thinking about this the other day. This tanking controversy is basically the Jeffrey Epstein scandal of the NBA. It's this massive distraction while other things are going on. And in the NBA, it's real interesting things. I mean, San Antonio just might surprise everybody, but only because most people aren't paying attention. Everybody's worried about tanking and other peripheral stuff. And pretty soon everybody that's into hoops is going to be watching March Madness. Right. So
true.
I think we're coming out of the whole tanking question. There have been some very interesting solutions proposed. They'll probably go with the wrong ones, but I'm hoping that they do the right thing on this and settle this because, yes, NBA fans have to come to grips with the fact that most guys aren't going to play 3 games out of 3 every week. But on the other hand, you can't have teams trying to lose. At that point, just forfeit the season. Just don't play. Save money, on maintenance costs. Honestly, to have a concert instead. So, except in Salt Lake City, I guess, where they don't have music. So nah, we'll do NBA next time. Besides, I don't want to talk about my Lakers either.
All right, let's move on then to the creme de la creme of the show.
Oh, yes.
The discuss, debate, or defer. As you know by now, if you've watched the show, we will come up with 3 topics, and one of us will either discuss it, debate it, or defer it. And this week I have chosen 3 topics for Mr. Davis. Here are your topics. Are sports combines a waste of time, energy, and attention? Sorry, I'm just putting the banner along the bottom there before I continue. Topic number 2. Who should be on the Mount Rushmore of the NFL? And topic number 3, because I saw an article that Henry Ruggs III is interested in making a return to the NFL. Topic number 3, should Henry Ruggs III return to the NFL?
Okay.
Make your choices. Choose wisely, Mr. Davis.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, I am going to delete the question about the combine.
Oh. Okay.
Because I don't think it's a waste of time necessarily for the teams scouting these guys. It's just organized pro day, basically. I don't think that's a waste of time. However, this is just, for the NFL addict, this is just methadone, right? This is a nicotine patch. This is ridiculous. How can you look at a guy who runs this thing in like 8.96 or whatever, and the other guy runs it in 8.98, and you go, whoa, player A is so fast, right? You cannot literally visually tell the difference, right? Unless you have the time at the end given to you. You don't know just by looking. It's not like they're having a race. Maybe if they had a race, that would be cool. They just have a track.
That would be interesting.
That would be cool. Then you could watch it. But no, it's not useless for the teams. However, I will note that it was once useful for Raiders fans, because for a long time, the Raiders were notorious for just picking the fastest guy. Right? That's it. They go to the combine, see the fastest guy. I mean, you could literally bet on this. Right? You just find out who the fastest guy at the combine is. Will the Raiders draft X? Yep, they will. He's the fastest, right? I mean, so I should pay attention this year. I want to see if they do the same thing, because for a long time that was the dictum. I was like, here's what we're gonna do, guys. Fastest guy. We need a tight end. Okay, let's take the fastest tight end. We need a linebacker, fastest linebacker. That's who we're taking. I don't care about their college career. Just fastest guy.
You heard it here first. The Raiders are not going to take Mendoza number 1. They're going to take the fastest guy from the combine.
Well, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day, and as far as I know, the Raiders have never had the number 1 pick. Have they? Don't think. Yeah, I literally think they have never, since 1960, they've never had the number 1 pick. I'm pretty sure.
Well, you piqued my interest now.
Yeah. I mean, literally, they are one of the winningest teams in the NFL, or at least they were before the 21st century. They were the top winningest team in the NFL. Now it's the Ravens. It's been the Ravens for a long time. In terms of winning percentage, the Ravens have literally never known failure. They've almost never had a
The Raiders have drafted first overall once in 2007.
When was that?
2007. They selected Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, that's right. How could I forget? One of the biggest busts of all time. That's a Ryan Leaf level bust right there. Yeah, wow. How could I forget? Of course, Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, they bottomed out in the post-Rich Gannon years. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so once before, and guess what? They drafted a quarterback. Surprise, surprise, number 1 pick, right? So yeah, you can put that aside, but watch your second and third round, guys. I'm telling you, Jason, watch who else. Mendoza be the exception, but we'll see. They're running a track meet out there, where they have in the past. Okay, so we're gonna go past that one. Okay. Let's briefly discuss Henry Ruggs.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm gonna get out the soapbox again. Getting on the soapbox again. Outside of sports, all right. Stepping outside of sports for a minute. I personally think that driving drunk is one of the most irresponsible, dangerous, and flat out stupid things that the average person can do.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Agreed.
I mean, not everybody owns a gun, but everybody owns something. Almost everybody owns something that can kill you. The car. All right. That you should be responsible. Okay. Now, Ruggs, my God. This guy was cruising around at 1 a.m., going 110 miles per hour. Yeah, no. And like a breathalyzer, blood alcohol off the charts. Okay. This guy literally did not know what he was doing, probably blacked out, like literally just on autopilot. Doesn't even know what he's doing. Doesn't remember for sure. You can bet he doesn't remember the actual crash. Absolutely not, right? Okay. Now, at this point, if you're going to debate Ruggs, the question becomes, how do you feel about serving one's time? How do you feel? Are you one of these people who thinks that your sentence is 10 years, you stay in jail for 10 years, you get out, you should have all the rights of a regular person? Right? I believe that. Sure, why not? Why not, right? So I guess that's really the question. If he can make the team, after not properly working out, I'm sure he's doing a lot of working out in prison, but after not properly working out, football workout, if he can make the team, fine. But you're a Raiders fan. How do you feel about it? You want him back, don't you? He was awesome. He was awesome.
Yeah. So this is going to be a hot take or a real shot from the hip. Mm-hmm. I say yes, he should return to the NFL. And I'm not just saying that because he played for the Raiders, whom I love. And I loved watching him burn defenses with his speed.
Oh, yeah.
I truly believe that it would be a perfect situation to turn a tragic situation into a positive feel-good story, and a huge opportunity for him to speak openly and honestly about the situation and how he's going to possibly use his celebrity platform to bring attention and awareness to situations like drinking and driving. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a real chance here to maybe gain some respect back.
Yeah. Jeez, he might get that Man of the Year award.
Probably won't get any respect, from the family of the poor woman who he killed, but
yeah. No,
it's tough.
The victim's family. I mean, it's up to them to forgive.
Yeah,
I would guess that most people in this situation do not.
Yeah,
but no, you will never win over that person. But yeah, I mean, if this dude is actually contrite, he might somehow turn this into a net positive, somehow. I mean, he could be the Man of the Year. He could get that Walter Payton Man of the Year award, if he's actually serious about it. He actually puts energy. And there better not be one whisper on Twitter that this dude had a beer.
Oh yeah.
When the Raiders are celebrating a Super Bowl victory with Fernando Mendoza MVP, he better not taste that champagne once, at least publicly. He better not. Sorry. I mean, he's got to publicly. He's got to be colder than cold, man. He better not touch a drop if any of this is going to work. Now, as far as the football aspect goes, now, if this guy can actually still play, yeah, sure, put him out there. He's 27.
Now, to put a spin on it, would it be better if he comes back with another team?
Nah. I mean, come on. How can you say that as a Raiders fan? This was one of their better number one picks ever.
Oh, man,
I mean, he
by
was
a
what
mile.
they wanted. Yeah, he was what they wanted. It was great. And things were actually looking good for a moment, for half a
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Things were looking up for the Raiders, which they haven't been for this whole century.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, sure. No, Raiders. I mean, they still own his rights, right? So Raiders, yeah, it's got to be. How can you say that? How can you say that? They're gonna take away your fan club card. They are. You're gonna be kicked out of Vegas, man.
I haven't got it yet. It must still be in the mail.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're having problems at the Canadian border getting that stuff through.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to debate who should be on the Mount Rushmore of the NFL.
Okay. All right. First of all, and let's do this because this whole top 4 most influential, this business. Okay. We've kind of forgotten a little bit here. Should there be parameters? Okay. So what is Mount Rushmore? Well, most importantly, it's a founder, right? George Washington takes that first spot, right? Now he goes back to the origin of the country, right? And you also have Teddy on there. And Teddy is more or less a contemporary. So is this the way we should look at this, right? Is that top spot one of the old guys? Is it a guy from the old days? Is it like George Halas? Is it Vince Lombardi, right? One of the other questions is, are you just talking about players, right? Or can we include coaches? Can we include player commissioners? Because if it were purely my choice, it would be Jim. It would be Jim Thorpe, which I think would also be ironic because, of course, Mount Rushmore was taken from sacred Native American land. So I think it would be awesome to have like a Mount Rushmore where a Native guy is the lead guy. That would be great. So, I mean, are we doing it this way? Is it only players? Do we need an old-time guy to be George Washington?
Well, first of all, I find it amazing that you managed to work Jim Thorpe into the show for a third week in a row.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
This is going to be a running theme, I think.
He's a tremendous influence on me as well as the NFL. Really, seriously.
Well, what I did was I only took players.
Okay.
And what I did to make it easier for myself was I took one player from kind of different positions. So I didn't just take 4 quarterbacks or,
Sure, of course.
So yeah, and they go back to the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So okay. Wow. All right.
But I mean, you can take coaches if you want.
I tried to follow the rules. I tried to follow this pattern, right?
Yeah.
So because 3 of these are easy for me. All right, I'll give you the 3. And either this will be the first 3 heads or the second 3 heads, right? Depending on how I'm going to handle this first one. But first 3 are easy. This is in order.
Okay.
I want that noted. In order. Jerry Rice.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Okay.
And Lawrence Taylor. Right? I think by far.
Damn.
Absolutely. Lawrence Taylor may be the greatest football player of all time. Right now, I'm one of the only people who will go down saying Jerry Rice is the greatest player of all time. He is.
Damn.
He's so much better than the next wide receiver that, he dominated his position, which is wide receiver, right? He, not exactly single-handedly, but he helped create the dynamism that is now that wide receiver position in the NFL. All of these like prima donna guys, all of these receivers from Michael Irvin on down have Jerry Rice to thank for making that possible. And, he's got 3 rings. He's got a Super Bowl MVP, I mean, okay, this is what I call the Donald Bradman principle. All right. Do you know anything about cricket?
Very little. I've seen very little, but I know a little.
All right, here. Great. You know just enough to be dangerous. Perfect. All right. Universally acclaimed as the GOAT in cricket history is this guy, Donald Bradman. right? Playing mostly in 30s, 40s, 50s. Okay, played forever. Okay. This basically the way cricket works is it's like baseball a little bit, right? Except the batsman stays at plate until he is out. Okay, so in other words, you get a hit, you're batting again. That's why they have two batters. Sometimes it's the other guy, depending on how they run the bases, right? Depends who ends up at that home wicket, right? At that main wicket, right? Okay. Bradman, as a batsman, averaged 99 runs per trip at bat. Number two all time is 50.
Oh my.
Okay. Jerry Rice has 20% more receiving yards than the next receiver. Right? This is one of those you're never going to catch this guy. This is like Ricky Henderson stealing bases in baseball. You know, you're just never going to catch this mark, you know? And it's like, yeah, okay, Tom Brady, you want to talk about the rings, whatever. There are a couple of other players with 6 rings, 7 rings, right? They're just not quarterbacks, okay? Tom Brady is not the most dominant quarterback that ever lived. Jerry Rice was. He was the most dominant wide receiver that ever played. Lawrence Taylor, greatest defensive player ever. No question. Without question. Like totally dominant. I mean, you hear stories about this guy. Like football players are actually afraid of this guy. You know, I mean, like literally afraid, not just on the field, not afraid they're going to sack the quarterback. No, afraid that he's going to hurt them.
Right.
You know, this guy was like Bubba Smith times 10, you know, not literally on steroids, but it's like Bubba Smith on steroids, right? I mean, so it's got to be those 3. Now, again, I think I'm going to go with let's go with the founder of our country mentality. So let's put in that first spot, let's put Vince, because I'd also like to see how they're going to do the hat. How are they going to make that hat, right, out of the mountain? Right? So I also want to see that.
Or whatever.
So yeah. So again, like for me, the first 3 are easy. You have the dominant guys, and then the fourth is the question: do you want to go a contemporary guy? Do you want to go? If I'm going a fourth player, the fourth player is probably going to be Deion Sanders. You could also convince me Ronnie Lott. But these 2 guys just dominated cornerback like nobody. And plus, Sanders is a multi-sport star, which I love. Sanders also played all 3 aspects of the game, at least for a little while. He was a receiver, he was a return guy, and he was, one of the best cornerbacks I've ever seen. So I'd put Deion or Ronnie Lott in that 4th position if you're just going players. But if you're just going players, then Jerry Rice is my main guy. Absolutely.
So you want to see something amazing? I'm going to put my notes on the screen just so you can see that I'm not lying.
What? You did the exact same thing?
So there you have Tom Brady, Lawrence Taylor, Jerry Rice. Right. The 4th I picked was either Walter Payton or Barry Sanders.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Probably Walter Payton.
You could do that too. All right. Yeah.
So
wow, great, good.
So
wow.
we agreed on 3 or 4.
Much of a debate. That's not much of a debate, man. I'm sorry for that. I thought I was being controversial by taking.
And those first 3 were easy. You're right.
Yeah. What other arguments could you make? I thought about Reggie White. Because again, it would be nice to have 2 offense, 2 defense. Reggie White might be a good one. Again, if you think about the old guys, maybe a Sammy Baugh, who was a dominant quarterback and punter back in the day. So I don't know. As a history guy, I kind of want the old guy on there, but it's tough to leave out. Yeah, Walter Payton is a great pick. Barry, I don't know. He could have lasted a little bit longer, to make that possible.
Yeah.
Plus, Peyton played in a Super Bowl. Barry, no fault of his own.
What about Jim Brown?
It's Jim Brown. That's a good pick. Yeah, because Brown was ahead of his time. I mean, Brown could have been playing in the 1990s.
I also thought about Randy Moss.
Sure. Yeah, but Moss is second.
Oh yeah.
He's number 2. Rice, you can't put 2 wide receivers on the Mount Rushmore of the other. Great. All right. That was a crummy debate, but I'm kind of glad we got consensus on that. It'll be much easier to plan the thing out.
Terrible
much
debate.
Easier to set the dynamite for that Mount Rushmore. I think Dion would be a good pick because, again, if you're actually making the Mount Rushmore, it'd be great to see that smile.
Yeah.
To see his teeth carved into the mountain. That would be great. None of the presidents are smiling on Mount Rushmore. So that'd be great. Nice big toothy Dion smile. That would be great.
Let's end it there.
Right. Yippee-ki-yay. All right. I like that ending. Back with more next week here on Shots from the Hip, a production of the Shotgun Sports Network.
Well, that's been another great episode. What are we going to talk about next week? Can you foresee what we might talk about next week?
Oh, something. The first week of World Baseball Classic will be in the books. And the thing is, I never concluded this, but let me do one more plug for World Baseball Classic. Okay, so like I said, 12 of the 16 teams will qualify. Last year, Czechia won in one of the bigger upsets in this tournament's history. They won 8-5 against China. Right? And so as a result, now Czechia got to return and China did not. Right? So even in this first week of World Baseball Classic, there will be something to see. I'm going to be talking about that. I'll probably be talking about more NBA. 6 Nations should almost be done by then, rugby. So maybe that. This is what I'm doing with my weekend. What about you? How's your sports weekend?
For me, it's pretty much all hockey from here till May.
Great.
May or June.
Perfect. May or June, right.
Just in time for CFL to start.
Yeah, and World Cup.
Yeah. And World Cup.
World Cup and CFL in June. So we'll occupy ourselves for the rest of this time. I feel confident. We'll be doing another movie. I don't know what movie we will do. I have an idea. I have an idea. I think I know what I'm going to do. All right.
Sounds like a plan. Till next week, fellow. What do we call them?
Hipsters.
Yeah, let's just go with hipsters.
Yeah.
Until next week, hipsters. So long.